Essentially, what Bitcoin is doing is taking excess energy, storing it into a new form. It's called currency. And you take that currency and you take it wherever you like. And so you took energy from one place and now you've transported it everywhere. Now, of course, that's just Bitcoin. Imagine a much more universal currency called intelligence, using exactly all the same concept that you described. You find places with excess energy, go put a data center there, transfer that energy, compress it into an artificial intelligence model. Take that model all over the place to use it.
We got involved in something called Decentralized, which is a decentralized open source protocol, just like Bitcoin, but instead of incentivizing security of the network, it incentivizes people to essentially kind of compete and try to solve complex problems of the world.
There are some really interesting early adventures in crowdsourcing technical completion. I would encourage you to look at a project that I'm starting to focus a little bit on called Bitensor. And I was like, what is this thing? And it's basically a thing where you go and solve technical problems and produce features that people require, that need, and you get paid in this underlying currency.
I think that in the next couple of years, you'll start to see Bitensor exceeding the pace of many like centralized, highly funded machine learning labs in various problems like data collection, benchmarks of various types, training machine learning models. And in the next 5 to 10 years, I think it's going to be the one-stop shop for where people come to actually solve these problems in the most efficient way. We imagine that there'll be a number of competitors that try to do it just like us, and that you can already see that happening. But Bitensor will always be the Schelling point and the game theoretic equilibrium for the most powerful in these digital commodity systems.
I like to invest in and back and get involved in projects that I think are transformative and have 100, 500, 1,000x type return opportunities. And I think unless the US dollar completely collapses, Bitcoin's not going to go up 500x. I think a Zcash can go up 500x. I think a Bitensor can go up 500x. And so our portfolio is allocated accordingly.
Speaking to Julian about this over the weekend, writing GMI, is like, Barry Silbert's going to be right, TAO is going to go up, Bitensor. It's really annoying because I've known Barry forever and he always gets these things right. He got the Zcash one as well. And I just think Bitensor, if I look at the weekly chart, it's like it's a killer chart.
Metcalfe's law says that the value of a telecom company or the value of a network will scale based on the amount of nodes squared. But when you add subnetworks to a network, and now we have subnetworks within subnetworks within a network, you can actually scale with Reed's law. So Reed's law says when you have subnetworks within, you scale at 2 to the exponent of the number of nodes in the network. So it actually has the potential to scale a lot faster than Bitcoin did. Now, I know predictions are a fool's game because if you're right, it was obvious, and if you're wrong, you're an idiot. But let's talk about a little price prediction today because it's the first Endgame Summit, and why the fuck not? Fastest assets to $1 trillion in market cap. As you can see, Microsoft took 44 years, Apple took 42 years, Amazon took 24, Google 21, and Bitcoin was the fastest asset of all time to $1 trillion in 12 years. Talking about what we've learned today in the industrial revolutions and the intelligence revolution, what do we think Bitensor is going to take to reach $1 trillion in market cap? We know this has scaling laws that can potentially outcompete Bitcoin. We know there's already a cryptocurrency market that has been established by Bitcoin. Let's make the assumption that Bitensor hits $1 trillion in 10 years. The first block was mined January 3rd, 2021. So by 2031, we'll have about 16 million TAO in circulation. And so that would make the price of TAO, drum roll please, by 2031, $62,000. So position yourself accordingly. Thank you.